So if you missed our morning live lesson on our Pearson, we're going to go ahead and just kind of go through it for you now. So on my vPortal page, I'm going to go ahead and select Canvas. Now, if you are having problems on Monday accessing, or even yesterday accessing the math content, there's giving you some problem solutions, troubleshooting issues there. After that, you have your special area. If you have had no problems, go ahead and select on our homeroom tab. And I'm going to change this to student view. And so once I do, this is basically what you should be seeing when you are logging in. And so along this item here, you should have all checks. If you don't have checks yet because you haven't really completed all the assignments, please don't wait until the end of the week. You're going to be very overwhelmed with the amount of work you're going to have to complete. So today is Thursday, so I'm going to go ahead and click on my instructions. So here I have my learning standard. And so in my learning standard, I'm going back and talking about the two fractions and if they're equivalent. And I'm also going to be writing time to the nearest minute and measure time intervals in minutes. So if you have not watched the video from last week that we did together, go back and take a look at those videos as a refresher on our YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and click next. Now this is going to bring up my visual learning, but you don't need a video to watch the video. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this now, and then you can watch this 2-minute video on your own. So here we have our practice lesson, and it's very similar to what you've already done. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. So here it asks me what time is shown on the clock in two ways. So I see here's my minute hand. So I see that it's 5 o'clock, or I'm sorry, my hour hand. So it's 5 o'clock and I'm going to count 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's 5:20. And so I can eliminate this answer and I can also eliminate this one because those are both 6:20. So now I just need to look at these two here. This one says 20 minutes before 6 and after 5. So the correct one is going to be my D. It's after 5. I'm going to check my answer and I'm going to go on. If I didn't get that one right or I needed additional practice, you can click on similar question. But since we got it right, I'm going to move on. What time is shown? So I see that it's 3:48. So I'm looking at, I have 48 minutes after 4. Well, it's not after 4. 48 minutes after 3. Okay, that one, yes. 48 minutes before 3. Nope, it's not this one. So those two are the ones that I quickly cross out. So is it 12 minutes before 4 o'clock or 12 minutes after? Well, it's not after 4 o'clock because it's still 3. So that means my answer is B. And again, I'm going to make sure that I click check answer and I'm going to move on. What time is shown? So again, I'm going to, there we go. I'm going to highlight my hour hand here. Now, if you notice, it's in between these two, but it's not at 7 yet. So it's only 6 o'clock. So it is 6, and then this point is 40, 1, 2, 6:42. So again, I can cross these two out. So then it's 42 minutes before 7. No, it's 42 minutes after 6. So with process of elimination, I have C as my answer. I check, great job, and I move on. It says, Ronald says that the scarf and hat cost about the same as a blanket and hat. Is this a reasonable estimate? So I'm going to go back over here again, and it says scarf and hat. So scarf and hat. So I have 12 and 14. He says that it costs about the same as a blanket and a hat. So a blanket and a hat. So I see the hat is the same in both. And so we're looking at 15 and 14. So the first question is 8. Is Ronald's estimate reasonable? And so I'm thinking to myself, well, it's only off by $1 and it costs about the same. So I would say, yeah, it's probably reasonable there. So I'm going to cross out, those are all not reasonable. So it leaves me with just this one here. I'm going to check that answer. Awesome. And then what did Emilio buy? So I got to go back up here. It says at the sale, what did Emilio buy at the sale if 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 12 stands for the total cost? So it looks like I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 $15 purchases. So I have 3 blankets and so going down here, I have 3 hats. No, 3 blankets and a hat. Here we go. Check my answer. Awesome. And I move on. It started snowing 20 minutes before 2 o'clock. So it's not 2 o'clock yet. Okay, so I see this one is it's past 2. Oh, let me go back because I know it's not these two. 20 minutes before 2. So if I look here, this is 20 minutes after 1. So that's not it. This is going to be my answer here. And I'm going to go on to the next one. Cheryl's study group started at 2. Her friend Yvette and Tegan arrived 10 minutes after 2. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of use my tools here. Arrived 10 minutes after 2. So 2:10 is the time they arrived. Her friend Nathan arrived 20 minutes later. When did Nathan arrive? Okay, so if they arrived at 2:10 and Nathan arrived 20 minutes later, he arrived at 2:30. So I'm going to put 2:30 are 30 minutes after 2 and 30 minutes before the next hour would be 3. So I'm going to check my answer and I'm going to go to my next question. Jenny meets her friends to see a movie at the time shown on the clock. Which of the following are other ways to write that time? Close these down. All right, so what are some other ways? So once again, I see here that it is between these 2 hours, but my minute hand is not up here yet. So I know that it's 2 o'clock. So I can eliminate here this, and I can eliminate after 3 o'clock because it's not. So my answer choice is it's 2:41 and it's 19 minutes before 3 o'clock because it says select all. I'm going to go down and check. Awesome job again. Let's move on. Mimi goes to a meeting. Her meeting ends at the time shown. Which of the following are not other ways to write this time? So let's see. It is 11:09. So it is 11:09. It's not 11 minutes before. It is 51 minutes. So I'm not going to put that. It is not 1:55. 9 minutes after 11. Nope, that's the one we said. So I'm going to check my answer. And so now I am done. All my answers are done. I could submit my work. I've got those correct. I'm going to move on to next. Okay, so here's going to be where you take your quiz. Okay, so using the number line, I'm going to simply 3, 6. And again, as you're doing this, I'm just going to walk you through this first one. Here's 3, 6, here's 5, 6. So I know 5, 6 is bigger. So I want to make sure that this one is picked up and I'm going to hit next. When you've gone through all of these, you're going to then, once you're finished with all questions, you're going to submit the quiz. Again, friends, if it is not something that you are happy with and you don't have a high score, go back and redo it. All right, if you need help, reach out and email me. Bye, guys.